Hello, today we'll be talking about two types of property. So, what are the two types of property? Number one, we have real property, and then number two, we have personal property. What are real property? Real property are properties that are immovable. Okay, real property is fixed permanently on one location. You cannot move real property from one location to another, it is fixed permanently to one location. So, example of real property, we have land. Land, anything growing on the land, anything attached, permanently attached on the land, and anything existing underneath the surface of that land is known as real property. So, for example, for a business, real property could be land they own, the buildings or structures they own, crops, mineral rights, etc. So let's say, for example, I'm in the farming business. Okay, I own a large parcel of land. Okay, and on that land, I have a house, I have a barn where I store my crops, I have a stable where I shelter my animals. These are examples of real property. Why? Because they are fixed permanently on one location, are fixed permanently on the land. Now, for an individual, real property could be land, houses, shops, kiosks, etc. Now let's move to personal property. What are personal property? Personal property is just the opposite of real property. Personal property are those properties that can be moved from one place to another. So personal property are possessions of any kind that are movable and are owned by someone. So if it is a movable item, if it is owned by someone, it is personal property. Now, it is also important for me to note that personal property could be both tangible and intangible items. What are tangible items? Tangible items are those items you can see and you can touch. So examples of tangible personal property, whether for business or individuals, could include furniture, could include cars, lawnmowers, tractors, vehicles of any kind. They could also include electronic gadgets such as mobile phones, television sets. We also have other things like generators. The accountants call them current assets. Okay, so the accountants call these current assets, and they call our real property fixed assets. Okay, so if you understand that concept, you should be able to understand these personal properties. The tangible personal properties are those you can see and touch, just like some of the examples are those that I just mentioned, while the intangible personal property are those you cannot see. Okay, examples: we have stocks, we have bonds, we have intellectual property rights, we have money. It could be in the bank, or in crypto, something you cannot see, etc. These are intangible personal property. So what you should do is this: you should channel your energy into acquiring more real property and less personal property. If you must acquire personal property, they should be the intangible personal property, such as like those that I just mentioned. Okay, because the tangible personal property, majority of them are liabilities. They depreciate in value, and in the long run, it won't be an asset. So channel your energy into acquiring more of real property and less of tangible personal property. Now, if you are keen on acquiring the real property, but for some reason, probably because the cost is way above your budget right now, here is one strategy you can adopt. Acquire those physical or tangible personal properties that can accumulate and collectively form real property. I'll give you an example to illustrate what I mean. If you buy planks, they are personal property. If you buy blocks, if you buy nails, if you buy cement, all these individually are personal property. But when you mix them together to form a structure, to form a shop, to form a house, a building, to form a stable or a barn, it has now automatically transformed into real property. Any other remaining materials that are left over, they are still personal property. But the structure you have raised by gathering all these things and forming them to raise that structure, the structure has now become real property. So little by little, you can be acquiring those items that will eventually sum up to real property. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Cheers.